I should get the soundbite. The "We are live."
Oh, dude,
The
that'd be nice. It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
next time. That's what I'm
Next
saying. We
time,
always
next
think on the
time.
fly. We're always thinking on the fly. But
Yes, sir.
we are here again. It's Thursday night, and it's not Amazon produced. It is Riverside produced. We are not on that budget, but Off the Volley is back. We are live on Twitch, and we have a lot to cover today. We have my boy Matt. He's back again. Um, yeah,
Let's
how
not
you
talk
feeling,
about the
bro?
past week. We will talk about the past week, but we could hold that off for like 5 minutes. I'd really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I think we've been holding it off for a little bit too long. I think it's like getting a shot, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
you're anticipating it, right? It's like, oh, you get delayed one day. It's like, oh my goodness, and then
yeah.
it gets delayed
I like
another day.
just peel the band-aid off. I think
Right,
I think I was trying to duck it, and that's the problem. Everyone, you're like, "Hey, is anyone able to do it tonight?" No, 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 I can't. But we got to get this out. The content's got to be there.
right.
So, happy to be here. Not happy about my team, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to start. You know, and
Yeah.
here's the thing: you're lucky it isn't me, or it isn't Andy doing the cooking session. It's
Look,
actually like
here's the thing. You know me well enough to know I'm hypercritical of my own team.
that is facts.
So Andy wouldn't be cooking me. Andy and I would both be cooking Tottenham. It's just he doesn't like them, and I hate them more because they're my own team. Uh, but I think the thing that bothers me the most about we'll start with the Arsenal game before we get to Coventry because that's just a completely different thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was how easy it felt. Andy said it on the pod, which I mean, credit to him, but I think it was all kind of obvious when you have the team that's best in the league on set pieces versus the team that's probably the worst in the league on set pieces.
Mm-hmm.
That if there's going to be one goal in the game, that's where you'd probably put your money on. Uh, you just watched it on Sunday, and I was every single time Arsenal had a set piece, I was worried until they actually scored on it, and once they
Mm-hmm.
scored on it, I kind of, I think everyone kind of saw the writing on the wall. Uh, just wasn't a good performance from us, and I think
Yeah.
that's probably what bothers me the most is not that we lost because Arsenal's a great team. Even though they had Rice out, they have Odegaard out. They have enough talent in there. It's not like they were playing like academy kids there or anything like that. They had Thomas Partey, they have Jorginho. They have like established stars in that team coming off the bench. I think it was just kind of, we didn't really test them. I really felt like
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal never had to get out of first gear, and they still were comfortable in like 95% of the possessions.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that I noticed, and not to cut you off, um,
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
no, you're right though. Your attack was super toothless. I know in the chat that was what we're saying. Like it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just like Andy. It wasn't just like you saying it. Like literally everyone's like, yo, like our attack, Spurs attack, your attack,
Yeah,
super predictable. It was kind of, I guess, it was kind of one dimensional, right?
I
And
think it's interesting, and I'm sorry, but I mean, it's
no,
just
you're good.
like what's coming. It's either trying to create the perfect angle for a shot or the worst cross you'll ever see in your life. For a team that crosses as much as they do, they probably picked the worst combination of left wing, right wing crossers they can get.
Yeah,
And I love Sonny. Sonny occasionally can put in a good cross, but he's not a touchline winger. We've said this. He's a inverted, you drive in with the ball at his feet. That's where he's best.
right.
And I love Ange. I mean, he's a great guy. I think more than anything, he's a great guy off the pitch. He just seems like he's a really good soul with a good story if you know anything about him.
Yeah,
But I think he's just been very rigid with his tactics. And if we could touch on the Coventry game, because I think that's really where it was, it doesn't feel like he's willing to change the tactic until he has to.
mm-hmm.
And I think in the Premier League, you just can't do that because, we can't go and get 2 goals in 4 minutes to win a game in the Prem against any team that if Tottenham is supposed to be a serious team, which they're not. I'm just not this year. Maybe in the future, maybe in the past. This team is not serious. You cannot
Yeah.
deploy Timo Werner in the year of my Lord Jesus Christ, 2024, and tell me you're a serious football team.
It's
But
crazy, and not to cut you off again, but I don't know. I don't know what you felt, but like when I saw like a Tottenham winger get on the ball, I literally just like cringed just from how
yeah,
bad
hmm
it was. Like that
and
that
and that's
display
not
was
even you affiliated. Like I know you're you're not like a. I wouldn't say you're a Tottenham support, but you're I would call you a sympathizer. I
sure.
think you're a Tottenham sympathizer. I know you love Ange because you're a big Celtic guy as well.
Hmm.
So I think overall, if I said anything about you, I think you have a positive view of Tottenham. But I mean, just like as a fan, I'm feeling the same way. I have no faith in my team whatsoever to put in a performance. When the team goes a goal down, it kind of feels like the game's over. And for a team that's supposed to be hyper aggressive, hyper attacking, it's not either one of those. I mean,
Right.
it's very it just kind of feels like, it was funny because I was just thinking it on Sunday, which when right after your team loses, you're just very angry. You just think a whole bunch of nonsense in your own head.
Right.
But it was just kind of funny because Mourinho once said, they can take all the possession they want. I'll take the 3 points. And Mourinho was our manager at a point, so it's just kind of funny to think about. Uh, just I think the whole entire identity of the club has shifted, and yet we still have the same problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and once again, I don't know if it's a culture
It's
thing
it's
with
it's
Spurs.
it's levy on down. There's a culture of cheapness, and you can't win and be cheap.
Trickle down culturenomics, bro. There you go.
Yes, yes. This is the
Yeah.
trickle down economics, except we're just not getting any economics, and my team's addicted to crack. Uh, we're the bad parts. We're the parts Ronald Reagan didn't like, for lack of
Right.
a better term. We know who that group of people is, but we don't have to touch on that tonight. Uh, that's
Oh
for
man.
our politics podcast. We'll do one night.
There you go.
We'll do an election night special. Just
Oh
off
Lord.
the volley election night special.
A
Uh,
breakdown.
what do you say?
We do a whole breakdown with the map and everything, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a poli sci guy, so I got you there.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
cool, cool.
but just in general, I mean, it was a bad week. Could have been a lot worse because if we would have lost to Coventry City, I don't know if I would ever. I was close to just kind of throwing the year in, throwing the towel in on the year.
5 games in, because I mean, yeah, it would be five
Yeah, because
games,
we're
including
four
the
in the
Carabao.
league. We're four in the league, and that'd be our fifth game. So yeah, 5 games in. But I mean, that's just like the culture the Spurs fans have had to put up with.
Hmm.
And it was just like you go back to last year, and Ange was very upset at the end of the year when the Spurs fans were cheering on Man City beating us, and he just didn't get it. But when you throw away the Carabao Cup in the first week of the season, and you're out of the FA Cup, and you're 35 points out of the league title, I don't know what you're expecting the fans to do.
Right,
So the
right.
culture from the top down is poor, and I don't know how that changes with the people in the positions that they're in continuing to be in the positions that they're in.
Yeah, not simple as that. Because once again, like you said, multiple managers have come through.
Mm-hmm.
One director of football got arrested,
Yes.
and not because of Spurs, but one did get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's the same old. It's the same old stuff. Like,
We need to arrest our current director of football. He's awful.
yeah,
Brennan Johnson for $50 million. He should be in jail.
yeah,
And he scored. So I've been tough on Brennan. I'll give Brennan credit for yesterday because without him, we're probably out of the comp.
true.
So I want to. like I said, I don't want to hate on my own players. I don't hate my own players. If it were up to me, all of them would be world class. Lamine Yamal, like grown in a lab, star boy babies or whatever.
Right.
Uh,
But
but
unfortunately, you have the fake Dele Alli, and maybe the championship is his level. Maybe that's
I don't think
where
he's
he
a
thrives.
championship player. I just think he's not a starter on a top 6 Premier League team.
Sure.
Like I think Forest was his level, and that's the problem. Is you're signing players from Forest, and you're signing players from Bournemouth, and you're signing players from Leeds, and
Hmm.
then you're surprised when you're not getting results against teams that are buying players from Chelsea, and you buy your players from you go get like Grealish from Villa, like serious teams,
Right.
Uh, so yeah, that's just a little bit on Tottenham. I wanted to touch on that first, because we did,
Yeah.
because everything else is going to be important, and they're not really that important in the grand scheme of things right now. So, with that being said, I really wanted to touch on the Champions League just because it was the first game week of the new format. I
Hmm.
know we just talked about it a little bit before we got on here, but just your overall thoughts on how the competitions look so far, and then we could kind of touch on uh, your team's performance yesterday against Inter.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. I think the new format for me, it's spectacular.
Yeah,
It's
I love it.
fantastical.
Mm-hmm.
Mi amor, mucho,
Oh, you're a Moor.
mi amor.
Wow.
I think it's really, really good. But here's the
Oh,
thing:
oh, really?
I was pro Super League
Okay,
once the
okay.
idea came out.
Mm-hmm.
This is legit UEFA saying, "Oh, what Florentino Perez put together was not right. Let's do your
Mm-hmm.
idea." That's
Yeah.
basically what they
Well,
did.
this feels like this. Yeah, this is kind of the Super League, except they took the parts out of the Super League that were kind of just like universally opposed.
Right.
Like the fact that like teams were never getting relegated out of the competition. And I know they had a new Super League format where teams would get relegated, but they would get relegated by the year, and that's also stupid because like let's say Real Madrid got relegated from La Liga, they could still be in like Champions League Ultra or whatever it was. I think it was gold, silver, and bronze or
Yeah.
something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
But just that idea of like Man City could have like I'm just saying not saying that at you, but just like a super high profile team could get relegated from their league and still be in the highest form of European football the next season without winning the competition just doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah. No, for
Uh,
sure.
but I mean, just like I still think they're going to get very similar results, and like at the end, it's still probably going to be the same teams as it was before, and you're getting, you know, however many more games because you have to think there's another. Let's see, there was 32 beforehand, so now so you're getting an extra 2 games a week
Hmm.
plus another so you're probably getting about another 50 games.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah.
have to think. Uh, and so far, like I said, so good. Shout out to Bayern Munich, absolutely destroyed Zagreb.
Bro, Olise, once again, I think that might be the signing of the season. I
Oh,
think that
he's
might
yeah
be what a
for
player, man.
50 million. By the way, it
Yeah.
really felt like Palace, and obviously Palace didn't have any control because I believe it was a release clause.
Yeah.
Uh, but
It
it
was.
definitely feels like Palace left like 30, 40 million off the table for him
Hmm.
because what
Absolutely.
a player.
He's definitely an 80 million, 90
Oh
million,
yeah.
pound player.
Mm-hmm.
But also, bro, I know company, jumping from Burnley to Bayern Munich, that's hefty. He's actually proved his worth, bro. I
Oh,
think he's a
well, here
top
was
tier manager.
the thing with company was always going to be is he learned so much from Pep,
Sure.
and Pep needs players. I don't think Pep could do Everton. You know, he's a Rolls Royce manager. You can't give him a bunch of Volvos and
Right.
expect him to turn them into and when Company was at Burnley in the championship, the level of quality of play, Burnley was still a top side, so he was able to be aggressive and succeed. But you can't do that when Burnley's in the Prem and they have the 18th biggest budget. You can't, But
Right.
now that he's at Bayern again, he's there's a certain type of manager needs elite players, where a different type of manager can take, you got your like Big Sams, your Sean Dyches of the world, who probably couldn't handle a Man City locker room in terms of ego and personality and how they play.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so
No.
yeah, Company looks good. Leverkusen looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Madrid demon magic to their way.
Yeah.
But if you
Typical.
look all the way down the table at 19th here, we have Manchester City, who had a draw in their first game against, to be fair, a very good Inter side.
Yeah,
Probably
bro.
going to walk Serie A for the second straight year. I just wanted to know your thoughts on the game, just kind of how everything was bridging between that and the Arsenal game this weekend that we'll obviously touch on.
Mm-hmm. Well, before I get into the play, I thought our new kits on display for the first time.
Oh, those were nice. Those were nice. I saw them.
Yeah. When they first got like leaked, like earlier
Mm-hmm.
on, before like any news came out about like
Yeah.
Oasis,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like, "Yo, these are like one of the most ugliest kits of all time."
Mm-hmm.
Now, Oasis may have added a little more aura to it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Definitely.
then the players actually put it on and actually took the photos, and
Mm-hmm.
then they started actually playing, and it's like, oh snap, these are actually
Well,
top tier.
I mean, that tends to happen with kits. I feel like you just see a rendering of one and you're like, oh, dude, this is garbage.
Yeah.
And then you see it on the players and you're like, wait, actually, that's like class. Or like you see it in person at the store and you go like, dude, I need 6 of these right now.
Right.
And
Right.
it's the kit that you saw when it got leaked and you're like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. But the kits were great. The play, not so great. What do you
Yeah.
think kind
See,
of happened here?
I thought we played actually okay. Obviously, what we were missing was, the finishing touch. But I thought we were
Mm-hmm.
dangerous in the box. I know Gundogan, the last header of the match, he skied it. That should have been a goal. And Doku got robbed of another assist. That dude should have so many assists, but he doesn't get any because either the run isn't being made or Holland puts it over, or a midfielder puts it over or shoots it right at the goalkeeper. But no, I thought we played decent. I thought Jack Grealish was our best player, our most dangerous player. He connected, obviously working well defensively, but he also was, the focal point in our attack. But no, needless to say, the Inter Milan, the way that they defended, the way that they set up, and the way, not even just like defense, just defending, but the way that they were
Mm-hmm.
passing the ball as well. Like there was one point in the game, I forgot which minute it was. It might have been around like the 75th, towards the end of the match, and they were in their own half, and literally I saw like maybe 7 or 8 while City was pressing them high. 7 or 8 first time passes to and I think it was like a 4v3 or 5v4, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
On So it was an Inter's defensive third towards the left. So yeah, literally like 5 like first time passes, boom, 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 and it got out of a press. I was like, bro, like this is wild. Like what I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
is like usually teams do not do that. Like Arsenal this Sunday, you won't see that. Inter Milan, they have, I mean, all their players are underrated in my opinion. I think they're a team that could, do once again like they did 2 years ago, make it to the final just because of how organized they are defensively, how they are tactically, and obviously their attacking threats with Thuram and Lautaro Martinez, who Martinez didn't even start because of the match last weekend. So, bro, like they brought on Pavard as a sub
Mm-hmm.
as well. So they have like a Serbi. I don't even know if DeVries even played, but yeah,
He
bro.
did not. So I
They,
mean, yeah, they're a talented team. I mean, they had Mkhitaryan come on. I
right.
mean, so Dumfries as well. So I mean, it's just And I was going to ask you that, and you called it out already, so that was nice. That was the rematch from the Champions League 2 years ago,
It was. It
and
was.
I think they played you guys very well in that game. I think they just kind of have a tactic that kind of flusters Pep. Obviously, this game didn't have the a Rodri wonder goal that we get about 6 times a season. I think he's just saving it for later.
Yeah.
Uh, he can throw that out now.
Hmm.
Uh, but another thing we were talking about, and I just kind of wanted to bring it up here, was just kind of like how well the Italian sides have looked in Europe recently. Uh, and it feels like kind of felt like a couple of years ago we were talking about like the downfall of Serie A as a league, and 2 or 3 years later, I mean, Atalanta held Arsenal today and won they were the only team to beat Leverkusen last year.
Right.
Uh, and then Inter's looked so good in Europe. AC Milan made it out. Nice. Did AC Milan? AC Milan didn't make it out last year of that group of death. Did they? Or they finished third, I think.
Yeah, because Newcastle finished fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they finished
Newcastle was
third.
fourth, and then it was PSG and Dortmund who got out.
Yes.
Uh, but I mean, AC Milan have been players. Juventus is obviously going to look better now that they have Mata at coach.
Right.
Uh, and then Napoli has Conte now. So just the Serie A's a league again. I think, and it's nice because it's always better when there's more teams with more competition. Uh,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it kind of feels like they're trying to take up that mantle as the second top league again. I wanted to know what your opinions on that are, because that's just a conclusion I felt I got from the first match week.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Obviously, in terms of once again, when you have like a league like the Premier League, right? And obviously like
Mm-hmm.
back during the prime, like I think our prime days in terms of when I guess in your opinion as well as mine, like football was actually like mad unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Serie A, La Liga, right? Those are the teams, and obviously Premier League will sprinkle in here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the past few years, the Premier League has been dominant, not just in terms of competition on the field, but also financially as well. Being the
Mm-hmm.
team, being the league that spends the most money, buying all the good players and everything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
what you're seeing in Serie A, I think, is a managerial revolution. I think a lot of a lot of underrated managers are now coming from there, and for the most part, I think the way that Italian teams are setting up is sort of like a testament to the old school in terms of defense first, and then guess what we go.
Mm-hmm.
I think Juventus, when they went on that crazy run, I forgot how many titles in a row they got. Um,
Had to be like,
it,
I think it was like 8 or 9, right?
yeah, it was crazy. That was sort of just like a down period also for like Inter Milan, AC Milan. They're struggling financially. I remember that. So to answer your question, bro, like I think the way that Serie A is moving, like they're getting a lot of underrated players.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like maybe a little bit early in like before they reach their peak, before they leave for like a bigger team or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be to the point now, like you said with Atalanta, when they first qualified for the Champions League. What it
Mm-hmm.
was like 3 years ago, I think. No, everyone's like, oh, they couldn't even play in their own stadium. They had to go to San Siro. Obviously now they can play in their own stadium now. But bro, like literally, like these teams that are just seen as like cupcakes, so like Bologna, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they played well in my opinion. They should have beat Shakhtar Donetsk, but they didn't. Um, I think it ended 0-0 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, the only team that lost from there was Milan, and
Right, that's
I
just
mean
the
they were playing Liverpool, so it's not like, I mean I think you could probably say that just based off of how it looks so far, all because I think they have five in the comp, right? If I remember correct, four. Yeah, they have five in the comp.
yeah,
I think all five of them are probably in good shape to make it out of
right.
the round of 24. Any other overlining themes so far from the Champions League that you feel like you've noticed? I know Barcelona lost today, but they had a red
Hmm.
card. So,
Yeah. Honestly, if I'm being real, like once again, like there's gonna be a lot of uh,
hmm
shock results. Maybe that people may look at real quick and it's like, oh, this is gonna be an easy match for let's say like Real Madrid, for example.
Yeah,
Um, but
because
yeah, no,
Stuttgart
teams
gave them a really good game.
they did, they
You know,
definitely
like
did.
there was times in that game where I was like, oh, dude, Stuttgart might act. I think it was 1-1 in like the
Mhm.
75th minute or something like that.
Right. And that's the thing
So,
as well with this new format, bro. It's not like you got to face each team twice. You get
hmm
one go at it. So every team's going to be, all the smaller teams are going to go, hard,
yeah,
right? So it's not going to be like the games where like, oh, like we need to sub in, we can put in our kids. We're
yeah,
already through to the group. No, like
hmm
every game's going to count. Every game is legit
yeah,
going to count unless you're going to have more games and you're going to be struggling when it comes March, April, and May. So yeah, bro. I think it's gonna be a variety of
yeah,
crazy results, but I think honestly this was what we needed. People aren't gonna be on board, just yet because obviously
yeah,
everyone's used to to the group stage. But
hmm
this is literally if you want to keep having the attention on the sport, keep growing the sport, and have it. Here's the thing: like in America, we need something like this where
yeah,
everything matters. So
hmm
yeah, no Champions League.
yeah.
Even though you did plagiarize maybe five. I'll say
But
99.9%. Well done. Well done. Well done. Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, I think the people who are critical of the changes are people who kind of really felt like it didn't need to change. Which I
Mhm.
mean, from the group stage to this, I don't really think there was. I personally don't think there was much need for a change. However, there could be not really much need of a change here, and to not say that the changes got better. And I think when it's match day 7 or 8, we'll really see like, oh, dude, there's 20 teams within 3 points of each other between like ninth and 28th, or something like that. And uh, like you're still probably going to have your teams that are clustered at the top. But I mean, you were going to get that anyways in a group stage. I
Right.
think this allows it makes all parts of the table interesting at once because you're watching, Man City, Real Madrid, and Bayern at the top. And then everyone, you have like a tier of like 20 teams who are all within like one game of each other in terms of points. And you're never really out of it until probably match day 6 or 7
Hmm.
because just how it's set up. So I think it makes it better for everybody.
Yeah. No, you're
I
definitely right.
wanted I wanted to let you touch on this real quick, just for a moment.
Hmm.
I do want you to celebrate your other team, who's second in the table right now. Uh, so if you want to, I'll let you get a little bit of Celtic prop off here, and then
Yeah,
we'll
bro.
get to the big game.
Here's the thing. Like, I'm a big fan. At least when Brendan Rodgers, when he's at Celtic, he somehow just has a team playing great footy, bro.
hmm
Um, I think how we played in obviously Adam Ida. He's gonna be one of those strikers, at least in the Scottish league. He's gonna put up crazy numbers. He's just an
Yeah.
athletic forward, great fits Celtic style. And it's just a dynamic. And I think with how Callum McGregor's been playing, how I'm a big fan of Alistair Johnson as well.
hmm
Look, they're going to be a team that's going to be dangerous to play, especially when you go to their spot. When you go to
Yeah.
Celtic Park, bro, their fans are legit. I think they might be top 3 in the world.
Wow.
I think top 3 in the world. Like like they how like Liverpool gets like the notion that like if you go to Anfield, it's going to be this,
Yeah.
that, and the third. Bro, no. If you go to Celtic Park, bro, literally imagine like I don't know, like 65 just angry you know Scottish dudes who are just drunk going yelling for come on you boys in green, bro. Literally, like that's the stuff that's like okay, snap,
Yeah.
like this is actually legit.
And I mean, you look at Celtics here because I'm looking at their path here. They have Dortmund on the road and they have Villa on the road. But outside of that, like Leipzig comes to their place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they have Bruges. They have Young Boys. They have so I mean, this is probably the best chance, and this was something that I really wanted to mention. If Celtic is in the old format, they're probably at best a pot 3 team, probably a pot 4 team.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the schedule for Celtic now and you go, okay, they're probably going to lose Dortmund, Atalanta, Aston Villa. Can they, even like, let's say they could sneak a point from somewhere in
Yeah,
one of those three
absolutely.
games? I mean,
Honestly, I think it might be the Villa game. If I'm being honest with you, I think they could sneak one against Villa.
I think Atalanta. I think Atalanta's a good side, but we've talked about the Italian sides. They just kind of set themselves up
Mm-hmm.
more rigid. Maybe like that's a game where I could definitely see Celtic getting a lot of the ball.
Sure.
And then maybe Atalanta's probably the better side. So, but
Mm-hmm.
if you take like, you could take the 3 points out of Dortmund, Leipzig, Atalanta, Villa, the other teams that they play. I mean, this allows them to actually be in the second part of the competition that they probably wouldn't have been in if they were in via the group stage before, and they're just playing in a group with Barcelona, PSG, and like Leverkusen.
Right. 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 Right.
Just to name a couple of teams.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
for sure.
and that's probably my favorite thing about the new format is it allows everyone to kind of feel like they have a chance before the tournament even starts to make it to the next round of the tournament.
Mm-hmm. No, for
Uh,
sure. You're right. I mean, and did you know that this is gonna be a blast in the past? Because I was looking at the lineups again for the Celtic Slavia game.
mm-hmm.
Kevin Vermeer. Does that name ring a bell?
Kevin, hold on. I'd have to look. Give me a second here. I'll pull it up real quick because I was looking at Celtic anyways.
Okay.
So it was in the Bratislava game this week.
Yes, it was Bratislava left back. Kevin Vermeer, bro. I'm surprised
Yeah,
that name
he's
doesn't ring a bell for you.
it's not. I don't know if I'm just like I was working earlier, just like the heat's
Okay.
getting to me.
Former
Hold on.
Spurs defender?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I got
I
you.
I did not know he played for this team.
I don't think his mom knows he plays for Bratislava.
Bro, what? Like it's so random. Who Wait, who's Blackman? Caesar
Blackman.
Blackman? Yeah, that's his name. His name is Caesar Blackman, bro. And he's from
Caesar
Panama.
Black. Is this just like a Bratislava cook sesh now? They don't deserve this.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, they already got torched enough this week. Do we need to torch them again? I
Fair
think
enough.
is a little unnecessary.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a stray. My fault.
but
My
but
apologies.
overall, congrats to Celtic. Obviously, that was kind of the point there.
Hmm.
Uh, but we're gonna go to the Premier League game of the week because I think everyone's been waiting for it. It's the the title decider. I don't know. I said Tottenham and title at the same time. I must mess that up because we're not even close to one. Uh, but Sunday, the big game of the week, Manchester City and Arsenal. So I like that. I really like the soundboard. I think it's given us a better feel here. Uh, your opening thoughts on the game because it's a big time game.
It is a big time game. Coming off of the result, against Inter Milan, we need to, step up because once again, they were very solid defensively, right? Arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be sitting. I can already see it. Probably five defenders, right? Ben White. It's going to be Saliba. It's going to be Gabriel. It's probably going to be Timber, right? Then they're going to have Saka, basically playing right wing back. They're going to have, I don't know, Jesus or Trossard playing left wing back, and then now they don't even have like Odegaard. They're gonna have Jorginho and Thomas Partey sit. No, because Rice is back. Rice is gonna be sitting in front.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have probably Jorginho playing. He's gonna be sitting right there because he didn't start today. And then Havertz is probably just gonna just wreak havoc up top whenever he gets a
Mm-hmm.
chance. I If Arsenal plays the way that they played today against Man City, I expect 3-0, 4-0. I expect us to batter them. And it's not even me trying to be arrogant. I just truly believe that we're on a totally different stratosphere than Arsenal. And maybe I am being a little bit too arrogant, but
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe like all the talking that Arsenal fans are doing right now, you're not going to beat us in set pieces like that, bro. Like obviously you may score one, right? You could be
Mm-hmm.
Stoke City FC, you know, but we have defenders, right? Holland usually drops in, you know, to defend these set pieces as well. So it's not like you have like, midgets defending. Like it's not gonna be like Bernardo Silva, marking Gabriel or Saliba or something like that. It's gonna be legit like Ruben Diaz. It's gonna be like John Stones. It's gonna be, you know, Vardiol, players like that. So that takes away Arsenal's biggest threat. You know, Tapas Pulis, he's gonna have to revert to just playing haram ball, just sitting back, parking the bus, putting out his best Sean Dyche, his best Jose Mourinho, session, masterclass, or whatever you want to call it. But I really want, Savinho's going to be very important for us. I think this is the type of game where he want Jack Grealish in,
Mm-hmm.
especially on the left. Because honestly, before, with how Pep had him set up, he was always out wide, right? Now he has more freedom to float into the middle, go into more central spaces, and I think he's going to be very important for our attack. I think it's going to be kind of the same with how we, attacked Inter Milan. He's going to be a focal point. Same with Savinho. I think it's going to be a lot of dynamic movement coming forward because there wasn't really enough of that against Inter Milan. So from a Man City perspective, I do expect goals. I don't really expect Holland to get in the mix just because I know how key they want to have him. He's gonna be basically the
Mm-hmm.
guy that they're always gonna look for, right? Gabriel and Saliba. It's just gonna be a double team City, and we're gonna have to rely on our wingers. So, and obviously, if Gundogan's gonna start, we're gonna have to rely on him to make his late runs into the box, and maybe he puts away a header, maybe he puts away a late, across the top of the box or towards the penalty area, or the penalty spot. So, yeah, no, I think we're going to be obviously on the ball a lot. It's just a matter of fact on if we can finish these chances, man. And we got to put one away early. We have to put one away early, unless it's
Yeah.
going to be more frustrating as the match goes on. So yeah, to answer your question, like I expect us to literally steamroll these guys, and I hope we do because Arsenal fans need humbling, bro. They need humbling.
I probably, just from a neutral perspective, didn't agree with most of that, except the Arsenal fans deserve humbling
Mm-hmm.
part. I think both of your guys' performance in the midweek in the Champions League was just kind of because you guys knew you had each other this
Mm,
weekend. Just kind of like you guys were kind of one eye off the ball because you have a title fixture, like probably a championship deciding 6-pointer this weekend, and it definitely, from what I saw from Arsenal today against Atalanta, felt very similar. Not to discredit Inter and Atalanta for taking points in those games, because they're very good sides, but if you have your rival coming on the weekend, you're going to have an eye looking towards that. My next question to you is Kevin De Bruyne
mm-hmm.
probably not going to play. What do you think Pep is going to do to counteract that? Do you think it's going to be Grealish in the middle? Do you think it'll be Foden maybe? Like, do you think it's just going to be Bernardo? And then maybe like, uh, I wanted to know because I really don't know well enough. You'd know better than me.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what Pep's idea will be.
It's a great question because the thing is, Pep, you really don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I should have prefaced with that no one knows,
Yeah.
because Prep probably sits up at night trying to figure out how he could make Vardy a reverse inverted goalkeeper or something like that. He's just He's like us. He's a degenerate for the game.
Literally.
He tries to make things exist that shouldn't exist. But
Right.
what would you say
Um.
the plan is? Like, if you were Pep and
hmm
you're not crazy because you aren't crazy, uh, but what would your solution be to the De Bruyne absence?
Yeah. Sure. So let me share my screen real quick so I can lay it out in a
Honestly,
more.
yeah, I'd like a little bit of a tactics show here, Mister 115.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. So we are going to cancel all these YouTube ads. Sunday Ticket, you are a waste of money as well. Shout out Stream East. No, so to answer your question, right? So with De Bruyne being out, and don't pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to the numbers more so. I'll just like name
Yeah,
out
yeah, I
the players.
assumed it's kind of just more of the idea.
Um, what I would do personally if I was Mr. Pep Guardiola, you know, um, I would, let's say this is the shape.
Mm-hmm.
I would basically have, once again, I'll have Grealish right here. I
Mm-hmm.
will have Savino here,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're gonna be like static, whatever, this is
Mm-hmm.
the shape. I will have Foden in this position right here. I will have
Mm-hmm.
Gundogan in this position right here. Personally, I would like to have Rico Lewis here. I would like to have Rodri, right? Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be
Yeah.
sitting here. Rico Lewis would be either here. He can go out here. Depending on
Mm-hmm.
what Arsenal's shape is,
Yeah. What side they need him on most?
right? And then Vardiol, Ruben Diaz, and no, I'll go with Akanji in this one because I think Walker. I still don't trust
I
him.
think you could use the height Akanji brings.
Right, right. Especially with like you
Yeah.
said, set pieces, right, being
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal's main point of attack now, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy to
I
think
I
about.
think a combination of Diaz, Akanji, and Holland will be crucial for like a Havertz, Gabriel Saliba,
Right, right.
matching up. Like you could see that being the matchups on set pieces.
hmm But here's
So
the thing. So not to cut you off.
no, you're fine.
So let's say we have the ball, right? Let's say
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Ederson has the ball here,
Mm-hmm.
and Arsenal sitting. Of course. Let's say Arsenal sitting. I don't know. Boom. 1, 2. So this will be Ben White. This one's Ben White. This one's Saliba. This one's Gabriel. This one's Jurriën Timber.
Mm-hmm.
This one is Trossard, right? Like we were talking about, Declan Rice.
Saka
Um,
over there.
right. Saka would be the right winger, right wing back here,
Mm-hmm.
sitting in. Um, and then this would be like Jorginho and Rice. And then this would probably be what? Who started today for in the middle?
Uh,
Party.
yeah, Partey. So
So
probably the Partey and Rice would be your back guys, and then Jorginho, and then Havertz.
right, and then I'll put Raya in. Oh no, uh, sorry, I'll put him in black. Just
Just to match the
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah. So for the most part, right? Let's say this is their shape.
Mm-hmm.
What we could do here is slide my man Grealish into this space, right? Have Holland in this space here, right? And then obviously going to have eyes on Holland. So this is going to be basically their shape, like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then maybe he tucks in here, he tucks in here, right? He tucks in here. I would have Savino out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be narrow, compact. Trossard's gonna be out here. I would have, yeah, right. So Greal should be here, right? I would have Vardiol high up on the field,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
personally. I would have Rico Lewis in these pockets right here.
Mm-hmm.
I would have Gundogan playing as like a second striker here,
Mm-hmm.
and then guess what? Boom, boom. Let's say no. Obviously, we were here with the ball,
Yeah, you have your center backs where the lead press guy is.
right?
Oh.
So and then Rodri will be,
Mm-hmm.
floating in these spaces right
Waiting at
here.
the edge of the box to score.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is interesting because just watching this a little bit from your positions, and I think this was kind of a tactic we talked about with the Chelsea game. Uh, just kind of the working in to out to in. I think if it's set up this way, I think it makes Savio very important because if Holland's tucking in on that left side, uh, having Savio on that right side, he's going to end up getting a lot of 1v1 opportunities because there's going to be two guys looking at Holland at all points, and you're going to
Right.
have guys looking at Foden and Bernardo. Savio having the space on that right side, he's probably your most crucial player on Sunday if this is kind of how it's set up. I do like talking tactics a little bit on this like tactics board kind of thing you have right here.
Yeah, nah,
Uh,
for sure. And
um,
another point as well, right? So usually what they do is, at least based off of last year's
mhm,
fixture, they doubled our wingers. No,
yeah,
they doubled Bernardo Silva last year when he started on the right wing. They doubled who started last year? I think it was Grealish last year.
I think it was Grealish.
So once again, like the area of the cross, because if Holland's making a run in here, guess who's on him? Saliba,
Hmm.
Gabriel. Boom. You know, White will be in here. Everybody be dropping
Yeah,
in. So I think the way that we break this, I think honestly, Savinho, like you said, he's a very important player.
yeah,
Rico Lewis has to
yeah.
be
I was
active
about to
in
say.
these
I was about to
units.
say. I think it's the passing between whoever's in that kind of like attacking wing spot, and then kind of who's in that like attacking mid spot. And I think Lewis can sit there too because Lewis is kind of he is like a wing back, but he's kind of like a deep lying midfielder wing back combo. I mean, he just
Bro.
can kind of play everywhere in a more holding position. But if you let him go forward there, I think having that combination of Savinho, I mean, if you see it right there with all the other guys going in with Holland, there's a little 3-on-2 on that other side with Savinho,
Mm-hmm.
Lewis, and
This will
Silva.
be.
I think would be Silva there, and then on the
Mm-hmm.
opposite side with Grealish, Vardiol, and Foden. And
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're just kind of, even though they have more numbers here, I mean, if you look, it's I think that's probably 6 or 7 on 8, or 7 on 9. It feels like you're still finding a way to isolate 1-on-1s or 2-on-1 situations within them uh, being so far back. And of course, there's going to be like spells of possession where uh, Arsenal had the ball and are threatening, and I definitely think we both know that. Uh, but just from an attacking perspective, I think this is probably, and I think like I said, we saw that a lot in the Chelsea game,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you guys were most dangerous, is when you had that open space
Yeah.
on the wing to go out to end to out, into out to in. My apologies.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but yeah. So, your thoughts on Arsenal's uh kind of what they've done so far without Odegaard? Because obviously Rice is going to be back, but one thing that I noticed in the Tottenham game, outside of Tottenham are terrible, uh, is they didn't really look the same without Odegaard. It kind of felt like, and I've never been like this. I guess there are some people on the internet who were kind of Odegaard's irrelevant. I don't know how you could watch
Yeah.
Arsenal play ever and say that Odegaard's irrelevant. You could maybe make an argument. You could make the argument, Saka's more important to the system, Rice is more important to the system, but to say Odegaard was an important piece, I think is just idiotic.
Yeah.
Uh, but just
Yeah.
kind of your thoughts on Arsenal without their key playmaker.
They look toothless. Today they barely created any chances against you guys. Honestly, I think you guys gave them that game. If you guys were a little bit more, ruthless up top, had better decision making,
Mm-hmm.
you guys would have easily won that game. But I mean, look, you made it, like we talked about before. You guys made it, hella predictable for them to defend you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna throw a lot of different looks at them. I think Holland maybe, I think he's fine with being that decoy. But no, with Odegaard though, their midfield lacks that creative, that creative spark,
Mm-hmm.
to say the least. and when you see a lot of it's sideways, backwards. Old I call it OG Arsenal, but
Mhm.
Arsenal early Arteta days, very, I won't even say negative, just very
Static. I think
horizontal.
statics. I think static's the best word for it because that's
Yeah,
kind of
it's,
what it
it's like a
is.
pool. It was like a pool. It wasn't like an
Hmm.
ocean. It was like a pool, just chlorine, typical, chilling. But yeah, no, I think honestly he deserves a lot more respect than he gets, in this point in time. I think a lot of these people who say that just want to be like, they want to be like Lee Gunner and just hate on players,
Yeah.
especially like the ones who just want to hate on their own players. I
Yes.
think they just want to be
Stinker
different.
hooked material. Uh, but yeah, Odegaard's a great player.
Yeah,
So
baller.
I think one thing that you did mention there that I kind of want to touch on, and I think it's true, and we just really kind of don't think about it because he scores 100 goals a week. But I think Holland's a very selfless player,
He is,
and I think
absolutely.
that's going to help you guys in a game like this where he knows that he's going to get his chance, so he's not going to really force a chance.
Hmm.
It's just a sign of a very smart player. Uh, but I mean, in this game, if he is a decoy, you know, I think that suits you to have a guy who definitely seems to be more selfless, despite the fact that I feel like he scores 5 times a game.
It's crazy. Like, what star player of his caliber do you know, like, that's willing to do that? Like Mbappe, if
Kylian
that was,
Mbappe,
you think
the
he
most
would?
selfless. I'm being sarcastic.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The most selfless player I know, Kylian Mbappe. Never has made anything about himself ever, Kylian Mbappe.
Right. I mean, I think the only player that I would put would be like Messi. In terms of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
temperament. I never
Mhm.
really saw him, like, obviously when I saw him mad is after like an L, and I think
Mhm.
any player,
Yeah,
anybody doesn't like losing.
yeah.
Um, but you're
But
right
but no,
though.
I get what you're saying here. Yeah, just a very selfless player, and he has. I just saw he has. I think they said 72 goals and 70 appearances.
Hmm.
That's just it's incredible. He's an incredible player, and
Unheard of.
I think if he has his way this weekend, it'll definitely be at least 73. Uh, so 100. That's just Premier League overall. It's a 99 and 104.
Wow. Wow.
So his next goal will be his 100th goal for Manchester City.
And he's only been here for what, 3 years
This will be his third season.
to start,
So even if he didn't score a goal for the rest of the season, he's averaging 33 goals per game per season.
bro. I'm gonna
And
put
that's
it
not
out
even. I
here.
don't think that's a calculating assist or anything like that either. That's just pure goal scoring
Right,
numbers.
bro. He's our, like, I'm gonna be totally honest. He's
Mm-hmm.
our best striker ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even like the
Don't
thing.
tell Aguero that. He'll cry.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, bro, like, I don't even think about him like that anymore, bro. You know?
Was there a bigger lie in the history of sports than Pep Guardiola saying we cannot replace Sergio Aguero?
Oh man, honestly,
Is there a bigger lie?
I think if you want to say the Barcelona cheating with the referees, paying off the refs, and them
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
denying it, sure.
yeah.
If you want to say
And then
Roger
the
Clemens,
deflection on Madrid.
right? If you want to say Sammy Sosa, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, but I think those were kind of like cheating and lying type things. Like you're not going to go outright and say, "Hey, we're cheating."
Right.
Pep went out of his way to say, "Hey, there's no way on earth we could ever replace this guy," knowing what he had in store is kind of evil. Uh,
Yeah. No, I
but
definitely agree. I was just joking,
yeah,
but no, you're right, bro. Like, the
yeah.
fact that he gets, I don't, he's not even a regen, bro. Like, this guy is just different. Like, he's literally
No,
like
there's nothing like him that I've ever seen.
wild. That's all I
just
gotta
because
say.
his build doesn't help that either. Because you see him and he's like, just like this absolute orc of a human being as well.
Yeah,
But I think it's time to hit the predictions for the week.
I think it is.
We have 10 games this weekend. All of them are most of them are pretty exciting. I'm not really excited for Leicester and Everton, but uh, that's on at the same time as the Tottenham game anyway, so I don't have to
Right.
care.
You're never gonna be paying attention to that. There you go.
I'm probably not going to be paying attention to Tottenham. Probably be off 6 minutes into the game when Brentford score. But we'll start with the first game, 7:30 Saturday. It is a London derby between the two more irrelevant teams, West Ham and Chelsea.
Nice. That's gonna be honestly. Here's the thing. I don't know. West Ham's in a weird position. Like Fulkrug, I'm not sure what happened to him. I mean, I think he had an Achilles injury, so he's not even gonna be like I don't even like mention him
Am I
anymore.
the only one who doesn't really rate Fulkrug?
No, you're not. I'm with you with that.
Okay.
Just because he
I
played for
never got.
Dortmund
Yeah,
doesn't
he
mean
played
anything.
for Dortmund, and Dortmund got rid of him.
Right.
That's the point I was making to people. Like, if this guy, it was the same thing I said about the Bayern players. If these clubs, you know how hard they fought for Jude Bellingham, you
Mm-hmm.
know how hard they fought for Jadon Sancho. They wouldn't let those guys leave unless it was, 80, $90 million deals. Fulkrug is younger, I know, but like if he was such an important part of the team, he wouldn't have left literally the week after they made the Champions League final.
Right. Yeah.
It feels like
But
Antony. I don't know how he keeps his job, Michele Antonio.
he's just one of those players, bro.
He's a
Like
leech.
he's just
He's a
there.
leech. How does he have a job?
I don't know. To be fair, like he's just there. Like he's just he can't take him away. He's just
To,
always
to,
there. Like
to be fair, last year in this fixture, he had that incredible goal where he just like absolutely ran through the Chelsea defense and then beat I don't remember who the keeper for the game was. I think it might have been Robert
was it
Sanchez, who's starting now.
right?
But and then he beat him near side. It was just like an incredible play where I watched it back and I go, "How is this a Premier League defense?"
Bro,
But
my comp for Mikel Antonio, I would say he's like the no disrespect. I think he's like the Joe Hendry
oh,
of like footy,
crazy!
bro. You know what I'm saying? He's
That's
just there.
crazy.
But no disrespect to Joe Hendry, bro. He's actually alright. But
Come on, dude. You're telling me you don't believe in Joe Hendry? Like
I do.
off top, 30-second conversation. You don't believe in Joe Hendry?
I do believe. I do.
Okay,
I
okay,
do. I do.
okay.
I do.
Didn't even have to go 30 seconds. You
There
got to
you go.
believe in Joe Hendry. I'll go 2-2 draw. I think these sides are very similar.
I could see that. I think you're right though, because like once again, you never know. Like West Ham can pull up and just go crazy, or they can pull up and just not do anything and just let Chelsea walk them over, or both teams just act like like themselves, just nothing. But no, I think Palmer's gonna go crazy.
I
Personally,
forgot you're super high on this Chelsea team.
yeah, I am. I can't back down now.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'm gonna go 2-2.
2-2?
2-2.
You're
Yeah.
also going to go 2-2. Okay, so we both picked 2-2 draw.
Mm-hmm.
The next game is a Midlands derby game. We have
Nice.
Aston Villa and Wolves.
Nice.
Wolves embarrassed this week. Well, I don't think they ended up getting it back to 3-2, but I think at one point it was like 3-0. With Brighton in the cup. So Wolves are already out of the cup. 1 point in 4 games. Going up against Villa, who just had Champions League football for the first time in forever.
Right.
Is Gary O'Neill the first manager sacked?
That's a great question.
Because it feels like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but it
No, you're
feels
good.
like what everyone thought Wolves were going to be last year is what they've been this year. Like they've just kind of been, they don't have that Hwang Hee-chan, power running through their veins right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't look like they're like there's no. Even though here's the thing, in the Newcastle game they played pretty well. I thought them
Mhm.
getting Andre was a great signing, and I
Mhm.
remember when he played against Man City in the Club World Cup final, bro. He was good. It's just a shame that he's 29 years old, but yeah, no, I think that's a good question. I think here's the thing: if they don't get results soon, and obviously, like you said, they play Villa, and I'm not sure who they play after that. Um,
I'll see what their run-in looks like until the next international break, because you'd assume if I think a manager does get sacked this next international break.
oh wow, do you want me to read it out?
Uh oh boy.
Yeah.
It's they play Liverpool, Brentford, and then it's the international break.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come back. It's Manchester City, Brighton, their next winnable game. I think Brentford's a winnable game.
It is,
Uh,
but
but I
yeah.
think their next game outside of that would be Crystal Palace, November 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they have a tough, next 5 games in the league. We could be looking at Wolves with the current form they've been in. Heading into match week 10 on 3 points, 4 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
No, it's
but this
crazy.
this is one they need because it's a rivalry game. Your players are going to be up for it more.
Right.
Do you think that happens though?
I don't.
I don't either. Okay.
I don't. I think it's gonna be 2-0. 2-0
You
to
know?
Villa.
All right. I'll go 2-1.
Okay.
Villa tends to start games slow. They did that against Everton, but I just see John Duran saving their behind again. I
Bro,
don't
he's
think I've seen a
tough.
player where I can't tell if he's good or not more than John Duran,
You don't think
because
he's good?
he just I feel like he'll just pop up once every game, score the craziest goal, and you never see him do anything else outside of the craziest goal.
Fair.
He feels like he's just kind of right at the moment. Uh, he's a substitute of dreams type player.
Right.
But I can't tell if he's okay, is this the greatest player I've ever seen or not? Every single time I see him, or is he dog water? That goal he had against Everton, absolutely beautiful, by the way.
Yeah.
Pickford saw it coming. Pickford could have known the day before that shot was coming, and he still wouldn't have got there.
Yeah.
So we'll both go Villa. I go 2-1. You go 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Fulham hosting Newcastle. Newcastle, by the way, also in the title race right now. They're 2 points back of you, 3 points back of Arsenal. There's a world where Newcastle ends the week top of the table.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think it might happen. Um but yeah, the Newcastle they've been kind of sneaky,
Mm-hmm.
but they're actually been playing, decent footy. And it's not really
Honestly,
Isak either, you
yeah, I,
know?
I don't know how they have 10 points because I've watched them in all of these games and they just haven't. They don't even feel like they've kicked it into gear yet.
Right.
I mean, when I watched them against Tottenham, I mean, they didn't look. I'm saying that against Tottenham, but I think Tottenham lost that game more than ever than Newcastle winning it. Uh, and I felt the same way about I don't remember who they started the season. I'm trying to remember. Did they play West Ham first game of the season?
It was Southampton.
Oh no, they just. Oh yeah, well the Southampton game was the
That was a 1-0,
Newcastle
but
got the red card.
yep.
Uh, I'm trying to remember which game it was where I felt like they should have. It must have been the Southampton game. But it just kind of felt like they haven't kicked it into gear yet they have 10 points. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I think they hold on to that again. I think they find a way to win. I'll go 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1. That's a decent scoreline.
Yeah, I think Smith Rowe finds some goal contribution there. I think he's gonna have a very good season.
Okay. Yeah, see, you know how high I was on Muniz. Yeah, that's long gone.
Oh, don't. Yeah, I could have told you that, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate that. You should have told me maybe like a few weeks earlier, but I appreciate the
I
heads up.
tried to. I said,
You
watch
did.
out. I was like, Muniz? You're like, dude, he's the next R9. You didn't say that, but he looks like Anthony Muniz recently than Rodrigo Muniz.
Yeah,
He might
that
be
yeah.
A9. He might be A1. Because he's cooked.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna have to go. I think I'm gonna go three, like 3-1 to Newcastle. Yeah, I was gonna say
3-1
1-3,
Newcastle.
but yeah,
All
3-1.
right. And a relegation 6-pointer because I think both of these teams will be there or thereabouts. Leicester is hosting Everton. Everton,
They've been unlucky, bro. Let's be
they need
real.
to lock in.
Yeah,
It's that
defensively,
unlucky. You can't do that back to back weeks and call you unlucky. You just
fair.
something's wrong. I mean, they've been leaky in the back, and their tactic will never allow them to be, you know, goal scoring for fun. They've just been way too leaky in the back for Everton.
The one person who I don't really understand the hype for, what's that dude's name? Jarrett Branthwaite.
Oh, Branthwaite, yeah.
Like, he's okay. I don't think he's the hype that people are saying he is. Like, he hasn't shown me anything, to be fair. Also, he's playing for Everton, so like maybe he doesn't even have a chance to do it.
Yeah. What that kind of reminds me of, just because I haven't seen much of him to get the hype either. It feels like when you get like a really good player on a very bad basketball, like a Cade Cunningham,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, this dude can score. Look at him because he can score and no one else can. You know,
Right.
he's just probably like a solid player, but since he's on a team where everyone else around him looks so inept, he's just gonna look better by comparison.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Everton
looking at the
probably,
lineups.
I think Everton probably should have cashed in.
You know what's crazy? I don't, I don't see him in any of the starting lineups this season.
I'd say I don't think he's been fit to start the year, but overall, I was just saying more overall as a player. Uh,
Right.
because I know they've been playing. I think they tried to get the Jake O'Brien guy in. I don't remember if he was in for the Villa game or not.
Yep.
But
Yeah, back line of Tarkowski and Michael Keane in
that's
2024.
dreadful. In
That's
2024,
disgusting. That's disgusting, bro. I
I don't
remember when
think
Michael
that's.
Keane was like the next, like he was like the Jarrett Branthwaite
Dude.
of um of his time. He's supposed to be the next big English center back, and
Yeah. That in 2024, no.
yeah,
I'll go. I'll go 0-0. This game deserves a
okay.
0-0. Both of these teams stink, and they probably should both be relegated.
I'm gonna go 2-0 to Leicester.
Wow.
Actually, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1.
If it's 2-0 and Leicester just looks absolutely clear of Everton,
Still
will
looking good.
there be like a mental combustion in Scouse country?
I think so, and I think what you asked about Gary O'Neill, I think that literally just wipes away the answer that we both have. I think it may be Sean Dyche if they lose,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm obviously predicting them to lose, so I think he's on the chopping block soon, bro.
Wow, man.
I think his time is done. I think his Premier League era is finished.
Well, I mean, he could go Stoke. He feels like the Stoke. Doesn't he feel like a Stoke manager?
He does.
Like I can
Imagine
see
him
him
walking
getting.
out because Stoke walks out to like the Eminem,
Yeah.
lose yourself. Yeah, bro. I can just imagine him walking out with his water bottle, in his suit.
In his like razor blade throat that
Right.
his voice box comes from.
Guys, push up.
We are, just Liverpool at Anfield playing Bournemouth. Liverpool, I'll go 3-1.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, last time we were so confident on Liverpool, and they kind
We
of
didn't
shot
really
the bed.
touch on that, did we? I think I
Nah.
might have said like 4 or 5-0, and
Yeah, I
that
think we
didn't
were all like,
happen.
"Yo, easy work for Liverpool," and they even score. They didn't even score.
Maybe I'm just like a Nottingham Forest denier. I don't think I believe Nuno Espirito Santo can be good. I think that's a self-reflection I need to take, because right now Nottingham Forest are 4 points ahead of Tottenham. So
Yeah,
maybe we were the problem and not Nuno.
maybe Levy somehow did the craziest PR pull, and yeah, but yeah, no, I think it's gonna be an interesting game. Um, I think Iriola, I think he's a great manager as well.
I really
So
like Uriel.
I think he's gonna pull maybe a page or two out of that book. Nah, I think it's gonna be 3-1. I think the match from this weekend or from against AC Milan is gonna get them going again. So yeah, 3-1, 3-1 to Liverpool.
In another game of two garbage teams. No
Hmm.
offense to Ipswich, I love you, Ipswich.
Yeah,
Southampton is hosting Ipswich. Southampton need this, right?
yeah,
Like, I
bad.
think Ipswich also needs it, but Ipswich has gotten a couple draws already. Southampton, like, if you can't take a point from Ipswich, are you taking a point all season?
True.
Is kind of how I feel about this Southampton team here. So, I
Interesting.
can't trust Southampton to win, though. That's a problem.
Unfortunately, because I remember people were like, oh, like they have a decent youth team. They have a young
They have all
team.
those former City kids.
Yeah,
The City, the City kids that weren't good enough to stay at City. I mean, let's
right.
call a spade a spade.
And now I have
But
people saying, "Oh, we scammed Southampton, and this is charged 117." You know what I'm saying? Like,
how about blame Southampton there? Like, you
right?
can't blame, That's not true, though. I blame Nottingham for giving us Brendan Johnson. They should have told us. Uh,
Warning label: this may
yeah,
cause
warning label.
cancer.
May not have functional brain and legs at the same time. Uh, Ipswich. I think Ipswich wins. I'll give Ipswich their first Premier League win in like 2 decades. I'll go
Nice.
1-0 Ipswich.
Okay. See, I want my man. Hold on, let me see if I can share my screen real quick. I'll be quick. Um, well, I want this guy, bro, to. I want to see a celebration live on TV, bro. I need to see this
Oh
dude's
yeah,
celebration,
yeah.
bro. This dude, I call him Southampton Jeff Hardy, bro. Literally, like,
Oh
dude's
yeah,
goaded.
he's doing the Jeff Hardy dance. I love Southampton fans. There's this video somewhere on the internet where it's just like this like orc of a Southampton fan who's like, Southampton's gonna win the Premier League next season. And I'm like, yeah, dude. You keep on believing. Never say die. But if they're winning anything anytime soon, it might be the championship again.
Yeah,
Which they didn't win last year. So I don't know why I said again.
right.
But
Nah,
Ipswich, I'll go Ipswich 1-0.
1-0. I'm gonna have to go 2-0. I think, yeah, Liam's lap's gonna go crazy. So yeah,
Yeah.
2-0.
Uh, Tottenham.
Tottenham
Tottenham has
Brentford.
Brentford.
Wussa's out, so that leaves Mbemo by himself,
That
and
doesn't matter. He cooks us every time.
that is true. Also, real quick, the fact that they're trying to get into this Barclays ban trend with
Oh,
Wissa
dude.
boiled me, boiled my blood. I was like,
Like,
I can't believe it.
dude, the Barclays didn't know you existed,
Literally,
bro.
literally.
Like, at least a club like Ipswich, who's been in before, like, during the Barclays era, or the Premier League era,
Right.
they could go, like, oh, proper Barclays men. Like, who's our proper Barclays men? No one. No one on your team is a Barclays man.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I think
They don't have Neil Maupay this time, so
yeah.
advantage. I don't even know who gives the advantage to, because I think last time when Maupay was doing his banter stuff, I think it woke Tottenham up.
Mm-hmm.
I have to back my team here,
Yeah.
and this is where Tottenham has me. I don't even feel confident of taking down Brentford at home right now, just the way
Wow.
they've looked to start the season.
Wow.
But I'll go 2-1.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go to reverse. No, I'm sorry. 1-2.
Dude,
I'm sorry. If that happens, bro, I think Ange may have to go, bro.
dude,
Unfortunately.
I I will not be on any podcast Monday, Tuesday. We are going to have to wait till like Friday of next week before I get put out of like the insane asylum if we lose at home to Brentford. No offense to Brentford. Great team, Premier
Right.
League side, 100%. But you have to win here.
Yeah. There's
Uh,
no other choice, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like something crazy is gonna happen with Brentford. Um,
I
I'm sorry.
hate you, is
I'm
what you're
sorry.
telling you. That's what you're telling me. Don't apologize. You want this. You want me to suffer. Uh, and the final game on Saturday is Crystal Palace and Manchester United.
I think you're into what I'm gonna say. So
Oh yeah, I think you're gonna say, knowing that you picked Southampton, I'm pretty confident you're going to pick Crystal Palace at home to beat Man United.
yeah, yeah. I
I'll
keep
go for.
saying this.
I'm
3-0.
gonna go for the draw. I think Palace usually gets a good, like, they get into United pretty good. Uh, so I'll go 2-2. I think Nketiah and Eze, and then Rashford and Xerxes.
Okay.
And then you're going to go 8-0 to Palace.
Mm-hmm. 8-0
Which
Palace.
I hope
Very good.
you're right. I'd love for, I'd love for that to be true.
Yeah, bro.
Uh,
I just need it to happen at least at one point, bro. Because I need Eddie and Nketiah to just turn into a Barclays man like version of I don't know.
we need him
Michu.
to be we need him to be Thierry Henry here.
Yeah, literally, literally like a reincarnated version
Like,
of
I know
Thierry.
they like pretended to do the Henry corner flag celebration.
Mm-hmm.
We need that this weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
Sunday, the early game on Sunday, Brighton and Hove Albion hosting Nottingham Forest.
Decent match. I think this is a very interesting matchup in terms of one's attacking, one's more known for their defensive, setup.
Mm-hmm.
Man, honestly, I could see both teams winning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I hate fixtures like this. I'm gonna have to go. No, I'm gonna have to go 2-0 to Brighton.
Okay. Personally, I hate both of these teams.
Fair.
One of them sold me a faulty winger. The other one sold me a defensive midfielder who's addicted to doing like galaxy gas. So if it were up to me, Bane would come and swallow the pitch whole. Uh, but um, uh, I'll go Nottingham here. I think this is the type of team they like playing against because they literally just eat possession the whole entire time, and then Nottingham's just able to counterattack. So I think
Mhm.
Forest will win. I'll go 1-0.
Okay.
And then the big one, I'll go first, then you go after. Manchester City, 17 time in a row, it feels like Premier League champions. Reigning, defending, undisputed, all of the things they say about the tribal chief. 115, maybe more charges. Doesn't matter because the game's going on this weekend. I'm trying to. I think it'd be different if it was at Arsenal, but I just can't see them beating City at City in a real game. They beat you in the whatever it was last year, the Community Shield or whatever. Uh, so I'll go City. I'll go City 3-1.
Okay.
I just think you guys kind of have what you need to get by them.
Yeah. No, I think it's a. I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
I'm sure you do. See, I picked your team to win, TJ. You know, you got to remember how to be a friend.
You're right.
Picking
Yeah, you know what?
Brentford to beat Tottenham.
You're right. I think maybe you know what? I think you're right. Maybe I do need to be a little, less harsh on Spurs at least, because you have to
No,
deal
be
with the
harsher. They
Browns to
deserve it.
begin with. Like that's your Sundays just already in the mud.
We play the Giants this week. We both are
Oh,
rooting for
please win,
Cleveland here.
please win, please win.
30 seconds on the Commanders, and then we'll get back to City Arsenal.
There you go.
7 field goals?
Look, and if you watch the highlights, half of it's false starts on our offensive line. So if we just fix that, bro, we're literally going to be cashing in touchdowns like it's nothing. To be
I
fair,
do think we play you in a couple weeks, so we're definitely going to have to do a game preview of that while in this.
yeah.
But back to this, because this is what the people want. Manchester City. There's probably not a more confident Manchester City fan out there than you. What's your result for the weekend?
I'm gonna go with a score of 4-1.
4-1.
And I believe there's gonna be a red card to Arsenal. And
Okay.
if I'm correct on that, do not add another charge to the 115. This is all Arsenal's fault. This fixture was a long time coming. This result is gonna be a long time coming as well. And I may have to eat my words. I may have to.
You may have to. We're both very confident in City winning this game.
Yeah.
But more especially than I am, because obviously that's your badge, that's your club. But I mean, at that point, City would be 5 points ahead of Arsenal and probably haven't even kicked it into full gear yet. This is a massive game. It's match week 5, but it already feels like title implications are already setting up here in the league.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, it's a big match. Obviously, it's a shame that it's come early in the year like this. But look, whenever you face, a potential title challenger, you just got to get it done. You have to get the job done. So, look, I'm backing the boys. I'm as long as we have this gold patch, as long as we have this gold patch right here, and the history that comes with this kit, the history comes with that. All these kits, like, bro, like I'm going to back the team. I'm going to back Pep Guardiola. So yeah, no, I expect a I guess a big victory. I really do. So come
All
on,
right, well,
come on, boys, come on, City.
we'll be here sometime next week, I'm sure, to dissect both games. Because hopefully Andy will be back. We'll be able to get his thoughts on the game.
Yeah, for sure.
But just overall, it was nice talking to you tonight. And I'm excited for your game this weekend, probably more than I'm excited for my own team's game this weekend. So it's nice to watch a game with implications every once in a while, Daniel Levy, if you're listening. I'm sure you are. But yeah, man,
He's worried about the biggest bar in the world, or the longest bar in the world.
We have a skywalk. Who else?
Got a Formula One track.
We are we are leading the league in sustainability.
Oh wow!
We're the environment champions of the Premier League, like 3 years in a row.
No one can say that though. That's true.
But here's the thing. Of course we are, because we know what trash looks like. We watch it 38 times a season. So
that's the recycling. Okay, I see. So every time the players come on to the field and then come off the field, that's the recycling.
Yeah, that's recycling. Yes.
Oh,
we do the same thing every week. We're recycling old tactics. You don't even have to waste a piece of paper on new tactics, because it is who we are, mate. We're just doing the same thing every week.
That's hilarious, bro. That's
I don't think it's hilarious.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, I think that wraps it up for tonight. Yeah, like you said, I'm excited for this match. And we'll be on sometime next week to to go over this and maybe it'll just be a two for one, I guess you could say. Reviewing the match and then talking about the next matches coming up next week. But yeah, no, Matt, appreciate you hopping on, bro.
No problem, man. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, and good luck to your
Like,
team as well. Actually, both of your teams.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Actually, you guys play the Bengals. We kind of both need to be rooting for each other's teams.
that is true.
So,
That is
yeah,
true.
but it was nice talking with you. I'm sure we'll do this again very soon.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely. And whoever the one person that joined us on the live, actually, it's two people. I'm not
Oh,
sure if
there we
they're
go.
still
We
on.
appreciate the both of you.
Yeah, appreciate you guys hopping on. If you want to, drop a follow to the Twitch channel, please do. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, show us some love as well. And yeah, we see you next time. Peace. Boom.